everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast and wish you all a very happy new year. We hope you had a wonderful holiday season. And we are here to go back. We're forgetting Christmas and we're going back to the regular year. And we're talking about the non-Christmas Hallmark movies, our favorites, top 10. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and I have with me the host of One Kiss Means Forever. And I'm so excited to get to talk to Katie and Hannah and hear their lists. And thank you to both of you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Before we, I guess, dive into our lists, I thought it'd be worth asking, like, how do you feel the Hallmark 2023 in general was, both, I guess, holiday, non-holiday, as a whole? How do you think, Hannah, how do you think they did?
I it was fine.
Yeah.
That's where I'm really landing on it.
Yeah.
You know, when we were making these top 10 lists, like I got to like 3 and then I was like, everything else is fine.
Yeah.
And there were some that I absolutely hated, obviously, because
Yeah.
of course there were. But you know, like I felt like it was, you know, there were probably like similar number of ones that I absolutely hated to normal years, but just sort of like a lot of like middle of the road. Don't really have any real complaints. Can't quite remember them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty rough year, especially from like March through August. And then I thought they had a pretty strong summer and a pretty strong fall. And but there was a time where it was a rough to be a Hallmark podcaster for a couple months there.
I was really appreciative of that because because we were on your podcast earlier this year, I got married in 2023. But I was also in a play. So from March to like June, I was really busy and didn't see anything. So I'm really pleased to hear that they were terrible because I missed them. I missed a lot more too because I started grad school as well.
Yeah.
So today's conversation is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. And you were in a play, like a Hallmark play, spoof play, right?
So yeah, I joined the improv cult. If anyone out there is an improv, we did a Hallmark-esque movie, holiday improv set. Hannah actually came to visit me in Cleveland to watch it.
I did. Nice. It was all about Katie the pirate.
Yeah.
Annabelle, I think your name was?
Annabelle the pirate coming from the big pirate city.
Back to Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I rekindled my relationship with my Jimmy Buffett impersonator ex-boyfriend.
Very cool. Funny. That's good.
You had to help your mom who hurt herself.
Yes, my mom broke her leg. So.
Well, let's dive into our list and let's start with number 10. This one is one that I did not expect to be good. I thought, oh no, and it is very basic as far as like your Hallmark plot, but sometimes basic works. And I really enjoyed When Love Springs this spring. This was with Rhiannon Fish, and she goes to this this bed and breakfast place, and through various shenanigans, her and the inn owner end up doing the fake boyfriend thing with her, you know, for her family. And there's all kinds of shenanigans, and the inn is failing. Like I said, totally basic, but thought they had good chemistry, and I thought it was funny and sweet, and I enjoyed it. So that's enough to make it on the 10.
I can't say it made my top 10, but I have 5, like, you know, like I had a list where I was like, it's definitely between these. Where am I putting everything? And it got cut off the top 10, but it was on my list of, you know, I do have to say that one was one of my favorite costume movies of
yeah,
the year.
she
Like,
looked
I thought
good.
she
That's
looked
true.
fantastic.
Yeah, and I liked it way better than her movie with Tyler. I was not
Oh,
a
I
fan
like
of
that
that
one a
one.
lot.
It
A
wasn't
lot.
maybe it list. I didn't care for it, but so this was I didn't, and I think maybe it also helped. You know, low expectations always help, but I was like, oh, this is just one they bought. It's not going to be that good, and I thought it was funny. And you're right, her clothes were really good in it. So yeah. um, all right, Hannah, what's your number 10?
My number 10, and I feel like I'm still not 100% sold on my whole order of everything, but
Mm-hmm.
where we're landing when we're recording, this is how it's
Yeah,
gonna go. Um,
same.
I put Never Too Late to Celebrate,
Yeah.
because I appreciated the multiculturalism that they brought into it. I appreciated all the like Spanish and Mexican heritage that they brought in. I thought they did, a good job of making it seem like a fun lived in world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have
And
that coming up.
yeah, I didn't, I can't say that the Pennevegas are my absolute favorite Hallmark couple, but this was one of my favorites they've ever done. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've had wins for I really liked Love in the Limelight the previous year, so they've been doing pretty good for me. But yeah, I have that one coming up, so I agree. I agree. All right, Katie, what's your number 10?
All right. So, full disclosure, I have three movies on this list I haven't seen.
Oh,
And I'm going off of it. And the reason I'm adding them is based on who's in it, what it is, I want to see more
oh,
movies
okay.
like
All right.
this. So, my number 10 is one I didn't see, only because the idea that Jodie Sweetin is a lounge singer solving mysteries is like the best thing in the world. So, I put
Mm-hmm.
the Jane Mysteries as my
Oh,
number
okay.
10 because I want to see more of that.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well,
I
it'd be interesting. You'll have to check in when you actually see it.
Okay.
see. I would be interested in seeing more of those.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
could see. None of the mysteries made my list, but more of a like I feel like they could make the Jane
Yeah.
mysteries work.
With the
The thing about
mysteries, you can either decide to sort of go campy and be like a little bit silly, or you can like try to be all like dark and gritty and sexy and whatever. And that one, they definitely went the like trying to be all dark and gritty, and so it wasn't my favorite, but
Fair.
I know that people enjoyed it.
The thing about the mysteries is sometimes I feel like the mysteries themselves could be in search anywhere. And the things that make us like want to watch the mysteries more are
Yeah,
the characters that are in like any sort of Murder She Wrote kind of thing is
yeah.
only delightful because it's Jessica Fletcher. And I think that's why we liked the crossword mysteries because the crossword puzzles were fun. And
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, again, I didn't see it. So maybe I'm just like, imagine maybe the movie in my head is so good.
Yeah.
And that red dress on the cover was so good. So I'll give it to the red dress.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, my number 9, I have Come Fly With Me. I liked Heather Hemmons. I liked Nell Mater. I liked the little girls were cute. I think it's about as well as Hallmark could do a Top Gun-ish kind of movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, there were some silly parts and some leaps of logic and stuff like that with the organ donor thing. I mean, so it wasn't perfect, but I had a good time watching it, and I liked the two of them together, and yeah, I just thought it was pretty entertaining. So
Yeah.
that's what I have at 9.
I mean, we did a deeper dive on it in an earlier
Oh,
episode of yours. I know. So, I guess more
oh yeah,
information.
yeah, for the fall. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
But it's coming up on my list too. So
Ah,
I
Yay.
okay, good. All
agree.
right. Well, what do you have at 9 then?
So this is where we get into the it made the list a lot of times because I remember it. Like it's like if I remember it this far on, it's sort of like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Without like hints, I suppose. Like,
Sure.
I didn't need the
Yeah.
picture of the cover to be like, oh yeah, that movie. Um, I put Sweeter Than Chocolate. Now, I don't actually think this is a great movie,
Uh-huh.
but I enjoy Eloise Mumford on occasion.
Uh-huh.
It kind of, I need the right part for her, but I do like her when she's in it. Um, and I thought, there's something sweet about like a chocolate movie that didn't feature Lacey Chabert. I just wanted a break.
Yeah, this one's high for me. I loved it. I thought it was really good. It actually improved upon the book. And I thought that it was just so swoon worthy, and especially that ending. Oh my gosh. Like they had great chemistry. I think that Don Janot is a little bit underappreciated. He's not one that you hear when people talk about like the really great Hallmark leading guys, but I think he is. He For me, he almost always delivers. And
I find a lot of the scripts that he's given are not my favorite, so he hasn't reached
mm,
that level
yeah,
for me, but that might not be a
yeah.
him problem so much as
I really loved one he did for Lifetime 2 years ago called Ghosts of Christmas Past. That it's not a Christmas, it sounds like a Christmas Carol. It's not a Christmas Carol, but
Hmm.
I really liked it. I thought it was a very good script. And so if you got a palate for more Christmas movies, then check that one out. Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
All
What
right.
about you, Katie? What's your next one you haven't seen?
Okay, the next one I haven't seen was Dream Moms. I didn't see it. I think I overheard it was a little bit cheesy, could have been better, but I did love the fact that one of the things I did appreciate about this year in Hallmark is we got some stories that weren't necessarily the cookie cutter love stories, that we had some different things, more of a friendship. I love some good singing. And I think that I her name escapes me. Not
Tamara?
Tamara Mowry, but the other
Yeah.
one,
Chelsea Hobbs.
Oh,
Chelsea Hobbs. I
Oh.
feel like I learned about her as a bad girl, and now that she's not doing bad girl things anymore, like 9 Lives of Christmas, she was like the not so nice girlfriend in that, I believe. So I like seeing her
yeah,
in
that's true.
romantic fun roles, and I think she's cute. And of course, Tamara was on Masked Singer, I believe.
Was she?
Oh, is
Yeah,
she?
I think she was the seahorse.
Oh,
Maybe.
she's great. We
Steve
love
Shell.
her. Yeah.
Somebody was on the Masked Singer. And I
So
believe
far, this attempt by Hallmark to do women's fiction, to these kinds of stories has not worked for me. But for the most part, there's a couple that have been decent, but for the most part, it has just not worked for me. So that one
Okay.
wasn't a favorite of mine. But you'll have to report back when you actually
I'll report
get
back.
to
I
see
just
it.
want to see more things like
Yeah.
that. I love my
Sure.
love stories, but I also love my friend stories too.
I feel like I like them better in theory than in execution. I like the idea sounds great, but I don't know. But yeah. So my next one, is one that I admit the podcast was somewhat influential in my fondness for it. It's A Winning Team. And I loved Nadia Hatta so much. She was one of my favorite interviews I think I've ever done. She was so funny. She was so charming. I absolutely adored her. And I don't think they have the best chemistry. And I don't know what was going on with Christopher Polaha's haircut in this movie, but, I liked the story, and I thought that she was so winning, and I liked the relationship between her and her dad, and that kind of dynamic, and improving that relationship, and like her becoming a little bit less of a Grinch with the kids, and the like little dates that they went on were kind of fun and cute. Him cooking for her, and it's not like a great movie, but I was charmed by the people involved, and like I said, I just loved her, and I hope that we get to see her in more Hallmark movies because she's just great. And so yeah, that's what I have for number 8.
Yeah, that one unfortunately is one where I did have to look at the picture to be like, what was this movie? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely saw it. I remember bits and pieces. I don't really remember what happened.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make my list, mostly because I'm like, it was clearly forgettable to me.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I agree. I do. But I think our episode of the podcast was probably more entertaining than the movie.
that happens frequently, actually.
Please hire her again. She is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
and
no,
I want to see more of her.
I can't say that I had any problems with any of the acting in that, so I would agree with you there. So my number 8 is where I put Come Fly With Me. So that's
okay, good.
We've talked about it. That's where I put it.
Very good. All right, Katie, what is your next one?
I have seen most of them from here on out.
All right.
They're a major one, I think, is that might top both of your lists. I unfortunately missed and could not stream to prepare for this podcast. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw my hat in, but we'll get to that later.
Ooh, okay.
I put The Wedding Veil Journey here, the one with Allison Sweeney. I didn't really care for the other 2 sequels. I didn't really care for the sequels at all, but I saw this one, and I saw the Lacey Chabert one. I think I missed the Autumn Razor one. But I liked this one better. And the reason I'm putting it in is because I like this idea of like an ongoing series. And while she did end up acquiring a child at the end of this, that wasn't the point of the movie. And I was worried that the whole series would be like, they all got married, now they're all gonna have babies, because that's what women should do. So I liked that this wasn't really the thing, and they were finding their own way, and they just happened to find a cute kid. So
they were pretty decent. I liked the sequels better than the originals personally. They were, I mean, I just feel like I wish that they gave them something interesting to do. They've been kind of pretty boring for me, all the Wedding Veil, but I think I liked the maybe it's just because I'm not a wedding person. Like in general, wedding movies are not for me, but I don't know.
Yeah, I will say I really like the pairing of Allison Sweeney and
Victor Webster.
Yeah, Victor Webster. Yeah. I like their they just like, I was like, I completely believe that you are together and like living your life, and like you're having some problems being together, but it's not that you don't want to be. It's like you're having timing issues, and that's like something you're working on. And it's just like that I really bought, and I appreciated that.
Well, and the magic of Grease, I mean,
well, there's a lot of Hallmark movies where the setting does some heavy lifting, and sometimes it can make it work. And sometimes you're like, you did a lot of heavy lifting, and I'm so sorry, Grease, but you didn't make it. I'm talking to you. It's all Greek to me. Or
I can't save it. I can't save it. Well, my next is Paris Proposal. Speaking of location heavy lifting, I mean, I just thought this was pretty classic. It felt kind of like a classic rom-com with, like this lie that they're telling, and I liked that they had an actual like French guy is her cohort here, and they're enemies to lovers, and that worked pretty well. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was one that didn't make my list, but is on my like long list.
It was a contender.
So it was a contender.
All right, good.
So I agree. I was pretty happy with it. All of these enemies to lovers. I love enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
The problem I have with like a Hallmark style enemies to lovers is that the timeline is so short.
Yeah. Well, at least when they had like worked together.
Yeah, at least they knew each other, and they didn't really know each other. There is some of that, but like, I did.
It is fast.
I will say, it felt like such an, these are the kinds where their whole like lie deception problem could have been easily alleviated to me, and they didn't do it, and then they got themselves in hot water, and it's like, well, yeah, because you did bad. Like this was a fixable problem, and you didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think at least in this case, like the lie doesn't. It's like all for business, so it doesn't really like hurt anybody. It's not like, some like when you're lying about, I don't know, like the like relationship. This was just. It only hurt like the business deal, like right. So it was relatively painless in it. So
right,
and she had great style. She even wore a Carrie Bradshaw outfit.
Dress. She looked great in it.
Yeah, it was on Sex and the City. So that's pretty good. All right. Well, what is your next pick?
So my next pick, I don't think is going to be very popular, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I decided to be true to myself.
Yes.
My next pick is A Retreat to You.
Uh-huh.
And I recognize the issues with this movie. I really
I'll relieve you because I have it higher.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. That makes me feel better.
I missed it, so tell me all about it.
I just really appreciated the character that Emily Ulera was playing. Like I really identified in a certain way with that character of like the way she saw the world. And I really appreciated that. I appreciated that at the end, spoilers, he was like, I can go to you. Like, you don't have to give up your job. There's nothing keeping me in my little small town. Like, bye. Right. And I appreciated, that they had like a really early good kiss in that movie.
Good.
Like there was just like, it was pretty, it followed all the like lot beat tropes, but kind of subverted them a little bit. And I was into it for, the period of time I was watching the movie.
Yeah. I loved it. It's very good.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast. My name is BJ.
And my name is Me Too. And we promise this promo is worth it, so please don't skip ahead.
We're two judgy friends who put our judgmental skills to work for you. We review the pilot episodes of new and popular shows and shows that our listeners request to answer your question, should I watch this?
Look, a lot of us are spending a lot more time at home, and yes, we should be reading and trying new projects and enriching ourselves, but does anything beat binging a great show?
Let us take the guesswork out of deciding what your next show will be. Tune in to The Pilot Podcast at thepilotpodcast.com.
So my next pick is Wedding Season. I think we talked about this last time I was on your podcast. But this is the one where starting an article, and she's got these three friends, and I really liked that one of them didn't get married, and I thought it was really, really cool. While I thought it was remembering this, I hated the fact that he like gave up his professional thing for her at the end, like, is like, I don't have to go photograph something cool in Australia or something because I'll stay here with you. They did have a really hot kiss. I do remember the kiss being pretty dang cool. So that was my that was my next pick.
That was a fun movie. The kayaking scene, I have a hard time forgiving. That was painful, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, this was also on my long list version of my list. So
it was in the running. It was in the running. Well, my number 6 is where I have Never Too Late to Celebrate.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought there were a lot of like really flirty moments between them, and I liked the ending, the fact that they both go to Mexico for this thing and they're going to start their relationship and they're going to, test it out and whatever. I thought they were both real good in it, and the dynamic with her family and her kind of trying to do something new. She's in kind of a rut. I can relate to that. And that's where I liked her dress. And a lot of times in these movies, the dress doesn't really pay off, but this one it did. Hannah, what do you have at 6?
So for number 6, I put Field Day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the title.
Yeah.
I wish they had picked a different one. But this is one of the friendship ones that worked pretty well for me, of like this woman who makes new friends with people she shouldn't, like, really wouldn't have made friends with. And they're all like going through something, and they all have their own little like semi-romantic side stories. And, then you've got Rachel Boston's main one.
Yeah.
Other than the really terrible kiss at the end, it was just bad. I thought it was really sweet. I thought, I bought into it. Mm-hmm. And I was along for the ride of these women being like, let's take down the mean girl, even though we're adults. And it's Bad Moms via Hallmark Channel. So
yeah. What do you have, Katie?
This is where I put Sweeter Than Chocolate. I wasn't my favorite, but I do remember it being a little bit steamy. And I thought like the whole like wall of people was kind of sweet, or than chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's where I put it.
Very good. Well, my number 5 is, I actually have Field Day at number 5, and the experience of watching it was very memorable. We were at Christmas Con, and they did a screening. It's the only Hallmark movie I've ever seen with a crowd, so that was fun. I think that you got your Julie Sherman Wolfe script, and that's always going to elevate things. I liked the fact that the lawyer mom wasn't made to be a bad, like a bad person or a bad mom. None of the moms were. Even the influencer mom, she was still like kind of respected by the script, and I liked her kind of little arc. And Shannon Chan Kent, I love her. I think she is delightful. I hope she keeps being in these. The whole cast was really fun, and the camaraderie between the women, and the fact that there's not just like one way to be a good mother. I appreciate, and so I thought it was enjoyable. I liked it a lot, and it ended up at number 5. What about you, Hannah?
So my number 5 was, I put Making Waves. Because I want to encourage Hallmark to continue to put singers in singing movies and letting them sing. Like, I feel like you have Corey Cotton. He, like, the man can sing.
Yeah.
So let him sing. Thank you. So I appreciated that he got to. That was fun. And like, I just sort of liked the like vibe of the movie almost. Yeah. I was just sort of like along for the ride. I was like, this is like my own summer vacation via a movie, and I'm into it.
Yeah, the plot was like super basic, but the banter was there, and it felt like a festival. It felt like a real festival.
I felt like there were extras there, and I don't know if I'm making that up, but it felt like there were.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Katie, what's your next pick?
This is where I put picture of her.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You're high on it.
Well, because I saw it, and we love Tyler. We're big heinies over here. And I like Rhiannon Fish. I think she's really cute most of the time in these movies. She's real pretty. While I think there was some things about the plot that made me uncomfortable, and I can't exactly remember why. I think I remember finishing the movie going, "Oh, that was kind of cute." And if I'm remembering correctly, there was a really nice kiss or two.
Yeah. Well, Tyler always gets the kisses. I just felt like he would. Heine's are going to be upset. I just felt like he was a major poser in this movie. Like all the shots with him on the motorcycle and being like, and I was just like, come on. And the plot of him like taking this picture of her, and it just wasn't that romantic to me. And I don't know. I didn't love it.
You don't have to like it. This one, it's even higher for me. So
okay. And if I'm going to be honest, I think Tyler is probably more closer to that character than anything else. Like, I think that there's like, I mean, maybe if Tyler, if you're listening, I feel like you and I would get along, but I think I would laugh at you on how cool you are, because you are so not cool. Like, I am not cool. Like, you're too cool for school. You're like Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, I also get the impression that he was actually sort of he is more like that character than maybe we want him to be.
When I've had the chance to interview him, he's actually pretty sweet and kind of shy. But like,
I believe that.
Completely. But I wasn't a fan of either of his movies this year. Just not for me.
Was there Christmas? Oh, it's Christmas.
Yeah, wasn't my favorite.
No, that was uncomfortable.
You win some, you lose some. But there we go. Okay, my number 4 is where I have Retreat to You.
Okay,
this script elevated this thing. I mean, there was nothing special about this plot, but I thought the banter was really funny. I was laughing from frame 1 throughout. I thought they were really good together, and yeah, there's some good kisses, and even like the banter written for the minor characters, the chef, the her friend, that whole relationship was funny, and I agree the ending was good. Maybe again low expectations helped, because I thought it was going to be terrible, and I was like, I'm laughing. And so I really want to have these writers on, because they elevated this thing a lot, and I admire them for that. And I'm not seeing the writers, but anyway, I thought it was just really funny. They did a good job. And that's, it always will come down to me, to the writing. That is the most important aspect. Even if the chemistry isn't like totally selling it for me, if the banter, if I'm laughing, if I'm enjoying it, then that will always give it the edge. Like I said, with a winning team, the chemistry I wasn't like loving that, but the banter and was really good for me. So yeah, that's where I have Retreat to You. So no shame there, Anna, having it on your
all right list. So speaking of movies with low expectations, I'm still a little baffled at myself for putting it this high, but I did, because I had the like below basement level expectations for this movie, and that's probably why I enjoyed it as much as I did. Fourth Down in Love.
Yeah, another Julie Sherman Wolf script. That, I mean, I have that pretty high. I have it at 13. So yeah, I agree.
I was like, I expected to genuinely like be angry about having to watch it. And I know I don't have to watch any of these, but I have to watch it. And the fact that I came out of it being like, oh, that was cute. I had a good time. I was like, well, I guess.
Yeah, another example of a script overcoming not the best chemistry. I wasn't like feeling it between them, but the script was really good.
Yeah, I also appreciate there is some, like, this is not a chemistry thing, but I feel like sometimes they will cast people where I'm like, there's no way in the world like this person would be a football player or something like that. And I was like, Ryan Pavey at least has the build. Like, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's true. All right, Katie, what do you have next?
I put Make Me a Match as my next pick.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Again, I really like when we get to explore other cultures. I don't love the apps, the dating apps or the whatever, so I had really low expectations going into this one. But I thought the guy was so cute. And the woman who played the mother was just so elegant and one of the best actors I think we've had on Hallmark in a really long time.
That's true.
So I just really enjoyed it. I'd love to see more of those types of stories being told.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. It got a little lost in the weeds of business. There were a lot of business meetings and talking about the business, but I especially the ending was strong when he goes after her, and that was fun. And the whole wedding, they did not have to do that. That was definitely an added expense that I appreciated. It was fun. So that's a good choice. All right, next is where I have Sweeter Than Chocolate. Okay. I just thought this was really swoon worthy, really romantic. I really thought they had great chemistry. And I think it improves upon the book. It was actually better. It was like a little bit tighter with the storytelling than the book. And yeah, I really, especially that ending. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So yeah, so I have it at 3.
All right. We've all agreed it made the top 10. So.
Oh yeah.
Top 10.
No question. No question.
Number 3 is where I put Make Me a Match. And I have to say it's almost entirely that scene between the son and the mother, like coming into the room where like there's the like altar to the father. Like, I was like, this is beautiful and the acting is amazing. And like everything around it could be like way worse than it was, and it would still rank it pretty high purely based on that one scene.
Yeah,
because I thought it was so good.
What about you, Katie? What's your next?
All right, so this is one I managed to watch this week that I had missed that was on my list of things to watch. This is where I'm putting Wedding Cottage. I liked it. I thought it was actually kind of cute. I don't love either of them most of the time, but I thought that they were kind of cute together. He was an artist. I thought the art that he created was actually pretty cool. That's not often the case. And it was one of those ones where I felt like neither of them really changed for each other. And one of the first times that they ever really acknowledge that they're seeing each other. They have a kiss in the middle and they're like, yeah, we're dating. And then they kiss again. Yeah. And I feel like that doesn't often happen. It's like, we kiss. Maybe we don't talk about it. Maybe we're like, I don't know, things are weird. And they're like, no, we're dating. And I thought that was cool. I thought it was neat.
Yeah, I agree. I have it at number 2.
And the chandeliers were great. Good chandeliers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have it at number 2. I really enjoyed it. I also don't love these two in a lot of movies, but I guess Brendan Penny is winning me over, because sometimes he can feel a little smug to me and just not my favorite. But I really loved In Merry Measure, and I really loved this. So yeah, way to go, Brendan.
His graying temples are working for him.
Yeah. But he worked for me as this like kind of grumpy artist guy, and she's super persistent, and it a lot of times I don't love wedding movies, but since this was about the planner, it's more palatable, and they were trying to do something nice for this couple, and they're the renovating and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very sweet little rom-com.
Yeah.
I think this is so funny, Rachel, because I think I kind of, and hate is too strong of a word, but I really didn't like Wedding Cottage. It doesn't make my list at all. My number 2 is doesn't make your list at all, but I think we have the same number 1. So I think, like, I'm just like, I don't know where, like, our overlaps are just bananas in my head, and I'm kind of loving it. Because like Wedding Cottage didn't work for me. I don't know. I was just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about these people. I don't care about what they're doing. I agree with your points of like, I like Brendan. This is one of Brendan Penny's movies where I liked him better. I liked his art. I just like, I was not on board for this journey. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, she's annoying, and I like he should just kick her off the property and they should never see each other again. And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. That is a look, I fixed it moment. Just like, you don't belong here. And I said no many times. Bye. But when you move past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my number 2, as we've talked about, is Picture of Her, which I like really responded to. I like that he like came and like saved her, even though it was sort of like his faults. And I just like, I also thought like, I really like Rhiannon Fish. I like,
she's very sweet.
These little, I liked this character that she was playing, where she was like, I am out of my depth. This is not who I am, but I guess I'm doing this. I'm confused. This is another one where I feel like they did acknowledge that they were dating for a little while. And then, she did get mad at him, but, that was a thing. And I do believe that this is sort of a little bit more who Tyler is. Like, I feel like the reason this character rides a motorcycle is because Tyler rides a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like, that feels right to me. There
were just one too many like glamour shots. Like, look how cool I am. But also, I was just kind of like, okay.
But there's not a lot of plot. So, it's like, it's filler. It's filler shots. And I was like, this is not bothering me.
I'm not a motorcycle person, but I might be with Tyler Hynes on a motorcycle.
Right, like, I'm never going to be a motorcycle person, even with Tyler Hynes. It's not going to happen. I am too scared. But I will watch other people on a motorcycle as long as they can promise me they will not get hurt.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And I appreciated that
you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, folks. Opinions. They're super fun. Opinions. We don't want to agree. All right, Katie, what do you have next?
Okay. I am I'm going to say this one because I think I'm just going to ride your number 1 bandwagon. So number 2, I put, because I watched it, The Cases of Mystery Lane, because I want more of them. I want more of Paul Campbell in glasses. I thought this was a fun role for him. I love Amy Garcia. I thought they had some pretty cute chemistry. I love that they were already married, so we don't have to worry about that will they, won't they kind of situation. I love that their marriage wasn't working, but now it is because they solve crimes now. I just thought it was cute. It was so good. I'm going to put it here.
Yeah, no, that one was good. It was unbelievable how much like trauma they could experience and just be like, let's move on to the next case. But that goes with these movies. That's the way it is. My favorite mystery of the year for me, even though I didn't have it in the top 10, was the Family History Mysteries. I liked that one with Niall and Janelle and the family story. I thought it was a pretty good story, and the idea of these people kind of solving crimes through like family history. I liked it, and I loved the little side romance in that one with the I can't remember their names, but anyway, they were really cute. The little side romance that they had.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hearty, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
So my number one, I guess maybe we'll all have the same number one. I don't know. But for me, it was Notes of Autumn was the number one movie. And it might even be, it's right up there with my favorite just period of the year. I loved it. I really connected with all four stories because like I kind of lost my main contract that I had for 10 years. That was like the stability. And so now I'm like truly a freelancer in a way that I haven't been before. And so I'm kind of, it is hard and it's a little bit scary. And so I just connected with all four of their stories of them. Like they were all freelancers, all trying to like decide kind of what to do and what the next kind of step in their lives were. And I loved the script, especially between Luke and Peter, and like little scenes. Like there's a scene where they both like subtly figure out that the other's single. And that was so well written and so well done. Oh, you're divorced. Oh, okay. That was great. And the back and forth. And I absolutely adored it. It was so good.
Yeah, that's my number one too. So yes, check. I think we talked about this, just you and I, when for the fall movies, Rachel. Like my biggest complaint is that it's not longer.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be two movies at least, so that we got one full Peter Luke movie and one full Marcus and Ashley movie. Yeah. And like they were like involved in each other's worlds and they were all in both of them, or like that would have been better to me, just because I was like, I'll hang out with these people. I am on board.
Yeah. When she's reading his manuscript though, and he's like, he's in love with you. Oh my gosh, what are you doing, you idiot? Like it was so
it's adorable. Also, please, I mean, they're getting better and I'm really, really happy about it. They're finally getting to the like decent gay rom-coms on Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
I won't give something a pass just because it has representation. No. I can celebrate a movie with representation, but still has to be a good movie.
Right.
And this it was so well written and they all had such good chemistry and so it had that, plus it was a really good movie, which makes it extra special.
And I missed it, but I knew it was going to be on the top of both of your lists. And I'm sort of glad I couldn't find it streaming anywhere, because then it made me watch Cases of Mystery Lane. So I was happy, but I just feel like when it was coming out and I was seeing all the ads for it, I was like, this looks like something special. Yeah. And then Hannah confirmed that it was. So I'm like, okay, in my heart, had I seen it, I know it would have been on my top spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you have at number one then?
That's my number one. I told you like I had one more coming up because
right. Oh, like I got
it. Because like we were talking about before, I missed a lot and I felt like everything was lackluster. There wasn't anything else that I watched that I would have said, I love this movie and I would watch it again. There was like nothing else this season that really clicked in for me. And I think that if I had watched this one, that would have been the one. Anna and I both kind of agree that the fall movies tend to be some of the most romantic movies. Like Falling for You is my favorite ever. So, I just, there was no one top spot for me this year, Hallmark. Try next year.
Try again. Very good. Yeah, there were a lot of rough patches.
Yeah. I was talking to Katie earlier about how if you had asked me to do my least favorites, I'd be like, ooh, this is going to be fun.
Hey, maybe we should do that.
Got a couple national parks movies to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think all of them make the list.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the worst of the year was Made for Each Other. I absolutely hated that.
Oh, I hated that one. I hated that one.
Absolutely
and
terrible.
I hated The Wedding Contract.
That's on my bottom 10.
Yeah. Just
and I thought A Safari Romance was absolutely terrible. I was just embarrassed for all involved.
I feel very just middle of the road. Like, I don't care.
It was really bad. And I really have a bone to pick about the Mahogany movies. They just have not been good. And I just, they started out really investing a lot of money in them and making them really good. And then I feel like now they're just buying junk and labeling it with Mahogany.
Yeah.
I liked the ones last year. Like,
that's what I'm saying. They spent money. They were investing. This year, they were bad, in my opinion. So, that's...
Yeah. And, the other thing that I realized when I was going through the movies is, like, there's a lot where I'm like, I remember the picture of the cover. I know I saw the movie, and I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Like, for example, like, Welcome to Valentine. What happened in Welcome to Valentine? I got nothing.
I was so excited for that one because I love Catherine so much, and Marky and I love. It was disappointing. It's a shame.
Like there's a couple of those where I was like, I genuinely like forgot that was a movie.
Yeah.
Like, the other one that I was like, oh, huh. I do remember watching that movie. But I had to actually see the picture, was Game of Love. Like, I genuinely forgot that existed at all.
Yeah. I guess for the record, my bottom 10 is I have a picture of her, The Wedding Contract, Aloha Heart. That was boring. The Dog Lover's Guide to Dating, Dream Moms, Love's Greek to Me, The Professional Bridesmaid, Spring Breakthrough, A Safari Romance, and Made for Each Other.
Okay. I think a lot of mine would overlap. Obviously, not all of them.
Not all.
Like I.
Yeah.
I think I would put more of the national park because I really hated them.
Although now I know what to do in an avalanche, so
Yeah.
Okay, well,
that's
nice. I didn't
nice.
have them much higher. They're in my bottom 15. So
there you go.
But it's.
Like I really didn't like A Pinch of Portugal. That one really.
That one was just okay for me.
I didn't. That one didn't make me happy.
I mean, I tell you one I liked way more than most people. I actually really enjoyed A Lifelong Love. Not enough for top 10, but I liked it more than most. It seemed like.
I think that for me that was middling in that I don't feel like anything happened.
It wasn't like whatever. The best plot, but I really liked her boss, and that made me laugh. He was a good bad man of business. But Make Me Match, that one was pretty good. Wasn't a big fan of the Curious Caterer movies.
Here's what I will say about those. I think I am giving them more of a pass because it's Andrew and Nikki than I would if it was anybody else.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm like really, I want them to get together in these movies. I don't care. Like the shenanigans of the mystery part, I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they're pretty dark. They're
dark.
Like you either go for like the gritty or you go for the little bit of camp, and I wish that they did the little more camp in these, and like they had her like strapped down she's like gonna be injected. I'm like, what?
That was not. I was
yikes.
That was more than I needed, and like for him to be like, like questioned as a suspect was I was like, you're going too far. I'm just here to see, like, are you going to ask her out finally?
Yeah.
That's the mystery.
That's
the real mystery.
That's what I'm here for. I think for me, like, the mystery that I'm most excited about is that the rebooting of the Aurora Tea Garden.
Oh,
I'm
that were
just
you
like
like
that.
that was decent.
I was like, I can see this going somewhere. I'm like, I don't think it was the best movie ever by any means, obviously, but like I was like, okay, I could see more of these. I'm like for me, if they never do another Dancing Detective, that's fine. I don't care.
Oh, I didn't see them, but I really love Will Kemp because I want him to dance and
The
everything.
only thing about that movie, The Dancing Detective, is they spent money on that thing.
I know.
That was like when I was watching, I was like, I just wish it wasn't a mystery. I wish it was just like Roman Holiday, you know?
It should be that, and that would be better. And I'm also like, you know,
but I'd almost always wish that. I would almost always be rather watching Roman Holiday than the mysteries.
Yeah, like I liked the original. I guess it was a quad, or no, it was a quartet. I don't remember how many there were. Of the Hannah Swenson mysteries. And I'm like really angry at them right now because I'm like, excuse me, you don't get people together and then break them up. I am not into.
Yes, you do. Apparently in the books. Like
I know. I don't. That's not why I am here.
Okay.
I haven't seen any Murder, She Baked. That is my big Hallmark blind spot. I haven't seen a single one of them because their initial run finished in 2017, which was the first year we started the podcast, and then I just have never caught up, on them.
Yeah,
and so that is
like that. I'm now like I feel like they have hooked me in such a way where I'm like, now I have to watch these just to make sure you get back together.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird with the mysteries this year because it was like they were just sort of throwing a lot out there, and I guess waiting to see what stuck.
I feel also like they really, with Jill Wagner leaving, like they really lost something with Mystery 101.
Yeah.
Those were the best.
They were really good.
Just so stupid the way that they handled that whole situation was so dumb. But
and to give us such a cliffhanger of an ending and then not be able to fix it.
I guess part of the reason why is because both of them were American, and so that makes them way more expensive. They don't get the same like tax benefits and stuff like that. That for the Canadian shoots, you have to have one of your leads has to be Canadian. And so it makes the whole series. So I mean, and I'm sure there were other reasons and things going on, but I guess that was a big reason. But you don't end on a cliffhanger like that unless you are 100% sure that you're gonna solve it. Like that's just terrible.
That was really, really
like people are writing like ending. People are writing like fan fictions to assuage their.
Do it. Film that.
If you're listening, send us your fan fictions. Put it in the comments.
Let's do a dramatic reading of it. Put it in a play format and we'll do a dramatic reading.
Yeah, hey.
I'll play Christopher Falaha.
Good. Well, very good. Let us know if you're listening what your favorites non-Christmas were for the year and what you would tell Hallmark to improve in the upcoming year. It was an interesting year to cover, that's for sure. So what are you all planned coming up for the new year? And I guess tell everybody about your podcast and how they can follow you.
So we actually just decided very, very recently how we're going to do the next few months. We like to loosely theme to where we are in the year. So we'll be doing some wintry. We're doing a lot of ice skating.
Yeah.
We're leaning into the ice skating.
Yeah.
You could and we're not sticking exclusively Hallmark.
Yeah.
No.
Good.
We are being silly and we made a plan.
We've been doing this for a while now and we're just kind of how crazy can we get?
I look forward to your episode on Cutting Edge. What is it? Cutting Edge 4?
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Don't.
I listened to your guys' episode on Snowmance. and I was very entertained. So
Thank
good
you.
job.
Yeah.
I love Snowman so much.
I mean, it's a bananas movie, and
It's so good.
I think it might be Jesse Hutchins' best movie. Like,
Yeah.
he's so
He's so endearing most of the
bought
time.
into it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to look us up, Hannah will tell you where to find us.
So we are at One Kiss Means Forever. On your podcatcher, it's all spelled out. On the socials, we use a 1 and a 4 when making our name.
One kiss means forever.
Yeah. So, and we do
Very
one
good.
movie deep dive every episode.
Very good.
And
yes, y'all should definitely check it out. I'll have all of the links in the description. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure that you are following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews for both of our podcasts. We sure appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Most of our viewers aren't subscribers. So if you're in that camp, please subscribe. It really helps the algorithm a lot. And check out the Patreon. We have monthly watch-alongs, which are so much fun, or Q&As with talent. And then we also have our patron group, and it's just, you get weekly exclusive reviews. You definitely get your money's worth with the Patreon. And then we have our merch store, which has tons of fun Hallmark inspired design. So check that out. And thanks to both of you, and hope you have a very happy new year.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Rachel.
Bye, everyone.